Chapter 3. Trevor, Pray. Trevor described his life and the time he spent in Soweto. He stayed there with his mother at her grandmother's house during school holidays. His life was filled with women for several reasons. His father was white, and some of the men in his family, like his grandfather and uncles, were not particularly present for him to learn much from them. So he was mainly influenced by his mother, grandmother, and aunts. Women held Soweto together, as the men were either off working in a mine, in jail, or exiled for fighting for a cause. Life in Soweto with the women meant that faith and activities were a big part of his days there. He described how he would participate in prayer meetings every night and believed the same thing as his grandmothers. He believed that because he was a child praying in English to white Jesus, that his prayers would be answered first. His grandmother often asked him to pray for everyone, and it made him feel like he was helping other people. He described how people lived and made their homes in Soweto. They did it one bit at a time because of lack of funds. He is baffled why people had driveways, though. It was not easy for them to get cars in that area. He figured that it was because people were hopeful. However, the problem was that people shared a bathroom with other houses. He had a brilliant idea one time to poop in the kitchen on a newspaper, since he was scared of flies coming up from the bottom of the hole in the outhouse and flying up his butt. But he miscalculated it, since he forgot that his blind great-grandmother was there. She heard him poop, and she kept asking who was there. She started to call out the names of family members. He finished his business and threw out his poop. His great-grandmother told the grandmother, and then later Trevor's mom, about the sounds and smell in the house. His mother found Trevor's poop in the newspaper. They were baffled who left out the shit in the newspaper in the dustbin. Because there was supposed to be no one there, his mother assumed that there was a demon inside the home. They went out to burn his shit because they thought it was the totem of the curse sent by someone. They asked people to pray and sing as well. Since people believed that if one person or house was bewitched, they had to ask the other people to do the same. It was because they believed that the demon might go to the house of the person who didn't pray to drive the demon away. They ended up praying in the largest prayer meeting in the house. He was placed in the center and asked to pray. He was afraid that he would die, because if he prayed to kill the demon who left the shit in the kitchen, well, it was him. He felt terrible after that. He prayed before he went to bed and asked forgiveness for what he did. He talked about how language can bring familiarity and division. He mentioned how the different tribes taught their children in their own language, and this drove the division among the people in Soweto. They didn't have the same sense of being familiar, but they were not all that different either. It was all a part of the government's plan to keep them from joining up and rebelling effectively against the status quo.